Hello, Scrappy Peeps. Suzanna here today for the Scraproom, and I'm sharing with you this 2-photo layout that I created using the Echo Park Be Happy collection. So if you subscribe to the kits, there are 3 pieces of pattern paper. I am showing you both sides of those papers as well as embellishments, and so you're going to get a full sheet of the stickers, which is super cool, and then I'm going to show you 4, but it's 2 pieces of black cardstock. Then if you subscribe to the add-ons, which I do, the pattern papers are these 2 pieces. You also, subscribers get exclusive digital cut file a month, and so I have cut that 1 piece out. And then if you subscribe to the embellishment add-ons, the add-ons that complement this kit are these frames and other ephemera pieces. So I am, ditching the black cardstock and going with the white. I just love these. I love the way that the black complements the colors in the collection, but I have really light photos, and it would be too much dark contrast if I were to have used the black cardstock. So I am creating banners, banners of various sizes. I am not a precise measurement person. I just kind of wanted to make sure that I got different widths as well as different heights of these banners. And I wanted to try and also get different depths of the notch. So I'm just going to create these by cutting the notches with my scissors. There is also green in the collection, but I intentionally did not use the green because I want the green to be a contrast color, and I'm using the green as my visual triangle that leads your eye throughout the page as one of the design principles there. So just kind of randomly choosing what's going to go, looking for contrast and balance across the page. I will tell you, so I have 4 banners, and for some reason, I'm not sure why, I will admit to you that I created this layout probably, I'm going to go with pretty close to 3-4 weeks ago, and so I'm not quite sure what I was thinking at the time, but for some reason the banners are skewed to the right, which is interesting because if you look at the photos, my daughter is also dominant on the right hand side, and the cat kind of the photos. And so if you think of a weight scale, right, the ones where you put the weights on one side to balance out what it is that you're trying to measure, everything is kind of dominant to the right, but yet somehow this looks balanced. And I think the reason it is balanced is because of the use of the green that creates the triangle, as well as I am going to put a black ephemera piece or sticker on the left hand side. You'll see that coming up, which creates balance to that black banner there. So it creates a symmetrical scale weight of balance and color, but not necessarily centered within the page. And it's just a small detail, but that is just something interesting that I noted. So I've got the 4 banner pieces, and then I know I want to frame one of these photos. So they look very similar, but they are slightly different. Their head angles are both slightly different. And so in order to distinguish that, I felt that having one of the photos framed led your eye to see the difference between the 2 there. And because of the banners and the movements there, I am putting them slightly askew is the goal, and then to put them slightly off center onto the banners as well, which another reason why the banner shifted to the left would have been better. I think what I was thinking when I was designing is that I was going to use a bunch of these ephemera pieces down the left hand side, and that was going to create the balance to those banners, but that's not the way it ends up, so I'm not quite sure. All right, so the digital cut file. So every month you get exclusive digital cut file. So you can see that one says summer fun something. It also had flip-flops, but the flip-flops had nothing to do with, we weren't at the beach or wearing flip-flops. This was indoors, and so I just took those out of the cut file. But it didn't work. It was too big. for all of what's going on here. So I'm going to use this little ephemera piece and cut and use my hole punch to punch some holes, but it's hard to see where you're punching the holes. So if you use your pencil to just mark where you want those holes to be, it's much easier to get symmetrical circles, especially when you're trying to line up a circle within a circle. And that gives me a nice place to insert some baker's twine and then wrap that around the photo. It just adds a little bit more visual interest to the page. And I wanted to have just a little bit more black in the layout as well too for that contrast. You can see the shadow from my daughter's hair and her hair being darker, whereas everything else in the photo is light. So I'm going to skew those off just a little bit and then have the right photo hang off of the edge of the banner. It covers a lot of the black, so again creating balance within the page there. So I'm going to use the stickers, the floral stickers with the yellow florals with the green, and so you can see how now I've got a visual triangle of those green bits that extend around the page there. So I also have this little banner, or it's a tag really, that says "Be Mine," but by notching the bottom of the tag, I am going to sort of add to that notched look, which then almost extends the banners just a little bit more. It also covers up that glaring white space in the photo, and so I'm actually going to move it in from where it is sitting right there. I'm going to add a little bit more baker's twine to that as well. And this black sticker, I like how it provides that contrast. So I've got black on the left-hand side, I've got black on the right-hand side, and so that weight scale that I was referring to earlier, it evens that out. So this is the notching that I was referring to earlier, and you'll see how it sort of ties that layout together. So one of the things that I am going to do off camera, and that I also think adds to the balance and also that weird skew that I've got of these banners, is that leftmost banner. I am going to use a fine line black pen, and I'm going to draw like almost like a stitched border, but it's not stitched, a solid border around the outside of that banner. And then I will also do something similar just around, I will frame the piece of white cardstock with a double line, and again, loosey-goosey, sort of wonky lines in order to just ground that layout and tie it all together a little bit. So I have bits and pieces of scraps here, and I thought maybe I might make the banners, extend the banners a little bit, but I didn't really need to do that. I do want a little bit more floral on the page, and definitely a little bit more green. So I'm going to fussy cut some of these flowers, and I will spare you the agony of having to watch that. I will remind you, if you are fussy cutting, that you want to move your paper as you open and close your scissors. Do not open and close moving scissors on the paper. You will get much cleaner cuts that way, and you almost get those rounded corners that you get as if you were using a die cut machine. So pretty close to wrapping it up. I just want to add a few other little teeny tiny embellishments. I could have called it quits here, but you have a full sheet of stickers, plus if you have the extras. So I wanted to use a little bit more if I could without making it look crowded. I wanted that balance. So I've got a little bee and a flower that I will put down here on the journaling block, and then I have a word sticker I'm going to use, just be you, at the top right, and that is horizontal, whereas most of this other movement is more vertical, but I like that it creates balance, that horizontal piece, to the lines that are in that journaling circle there. So I will explain that no, this is not a journaled layout. The idea was that I was going to have Mia journal the story. I still intend to do that. Mia is now 17, Nicholas is 20, and these kids are old enough to tell their stories. I don't want to be telling their stories their whole lives. And so while they're home, I can get them to write the stories for me, or I can try and convince them to get to write the stories for me. And I'm still working on the convincing stage of that. So this is a layout for the scrap room created using a Scraproom kit. It is a kit club, but you do not have to subscribe. You can get one-offs if they are available, although there are definitely bonuses to subscribing. So you can check out all that info in the description box down below. Thanks for stopping in today. I hope you're doing well. Come back again soon. Take care.